Hmm. This Manafort guy being convicted on tax evasion doesn't really work for our agenda. This just in, America. Oh my God. Donald Trump. He likes having his dick sucked by young, beautiful women, typically blondes. This is white supremacy. No limit. Part of my problem with how the Democrats have been acting, kind of as a whole, as a culture in and of themselves, both the ones at the top and the ones at the bottom consuming the media, have been acting since Trump has been elected. Is a lot of the things they're trying to say about Trump, about Russia or the sex scandal stuff, at their core, these are things that are supposed to be undermining Trump's support with Trump's people. And I'm not detecting any of that. In the case of Russia, they're just not buying it. And in the case of the sex shit, they don't give a fuck anymore about that kind of stuff. It's not the 90s, guys. You remember when you were all clapping and back patting yourselves that Barack Obama had made fun of Mitt Romney for being too much into Russia and shit? Well, you got the Russia thing. And also on top of that, you're also back patting yourselves about pointing out that Trump has shown infidelity his entire fucking life. Everyone who voted for him walked in having heard about all the pussy grabbing shit just a couple weeks before. Everyone who sat out not voting for Hillary Clinton, that was my camp. I felt it was like one of those, I'm fucked either way, no matter how this comes out. It's going to be a shit show. And I did not want to be on record for having voted for either of them, regardless of the outcome. I felt it was actually really the only moral thing to do as a voter with my vote is like, I don't like any of these options. I didn't get to care much for Jill Stein or Gary Johnson either, because I both found them woefully unprepared. Donald Trump is such a white trash candidate, and I guess that's all on purpose. And Hillary Clinton has just a shit list of things wrong with her that go back for years. That I don't even need to go into. We all know this stuff already. I'm just saying. Like I didn't vote out of laziness about voting. I did not like any of my options, so abstain. Leave me the fuck out of it. I do not want to have to bear the responsibility for either of these people and whatever it is they end up doing. But the Democrats are continuing to basically attack him on things that the Republicans had already overcome in order to vote for him. In fact, being friendly with Russia was an appealing point to them before the elections. I've never understood what this false collusion narrative has ever been supposed to do there. And the sex stuff, they already decided to overlook that. I mean, Bill Clinton's approval ratings post blowjob revelation were actually pretty good. He probably would have done even better if people had known about that stuff before he got elected and didn't find out about it. Americans are normal, everyday people for the most part. And both women and women can relate to the idea that a dude gets a blowjob from his secretary type situation. He doesn't want the wife and the whole fucking world to know about it. And so, yeah, he initially fibs under oath and uses a lot of dodgy language. What the fuck would you do if you were in those shoes? So it was very natural. And so I think people are naturally more forgiving of Trump's foibles than what the media and our leaders and the people who write fiction about what human beings are like and run upon that fiction. What they tell us that we're like, well, we're not like that. We're all for the most part, pretty grimy, dirty people at our hearts that put on a face of being normal. But, the only people who are buying all the propaganda about Trump are the people who are never going to vote for Trump in the first place. So all you're doing is you're terrifying and starting to fracture your own base by doing this, and you're not accomplishing anything to whittle away at your opposition. I guess on the hopes that just the pure negativity vote is going to outdo Trump, despite the fact that time and again throughout election history, parties that did not have a strong candidate and were trying to get by on the, well, anybody's better than this guy, that never works. People don't go stand in line in protest of bands they don't like when they're going to concerts. People don't stand in line at movie theaters for movies they don't like. People aren't going to go stand in line to vote for someone they don't like just because they don't like the other person. And it's wrong to ask them to do that. And unfortunately, the Democrats don't have anyone to field that I think is really capable of handling Donald Trump's unique set of characteristics. Initially, and for a time, I thought really their best bet would be go with someone from Hollywood. But judging from what I can tell from Republican conservative circles that I observe on YouTube, they're not thinking very positively of anyone in Hollywood. I don't think celebrity alone is going to do them much well, because they've all basically been branded as being members of like a nefarious underground child sex ring. So, congratulations, Robert Downey Jr. Or insert celebrity, hell, pick anyone. God, I say he's another one that you guys could go after. He's got a checkered past. How come he's been forgiven, but Kevin Spacey hasn't? Well, anyway. I continue to calculate 60 to 70% odds that Donald Trump will be elected in 2020. I just do not see anyone being brought out by the Democrats that's going to appeal to the core group of people that lost them the election. They should be laser focused on Pennsylvania and Ohio and that little Midwest corner of America right there to the south and east of the Great Lakes. And they're not doing that. They're laser focused on appealing to Californians and New Yorkians. New Yorkers, Yorkanio. I don't know what the fuck to call you people. Texan, that's nice and easy. I guess I had the same issue with living in Colorado. Or like, are you Coloradans, Coloradonians? Well, at least you're not Canadiesios. Yeah, I guess that's about all.